Some people start rolling in. Oh, never mind. Looks like the description came back. It is showing my computer specs now. Oh, last time it didn't do that from the get-go. It just left it blank, which is actually how I'd prefer it to be. Ready. Sounding good here? Ready. Yeah, sounds like it. Alright. So like I said, we'll wait till we get some folks rolling in. Let me post this to the Discord real quick. This is going to be a special stream, unlike anything we've ever done before. And the following one will also be special. Hopefully the computer fan isn't too loud. I got the Yeti mic plugged in because there's going to be some other commentary that you're going to hear in this stream that I've done with the regular mic that I typically use to stream, which is a lower quality, but I want to be able to distinguish my voice between that and this stream. So I would use this mic all the time. It's just that I have to be close to it for the audio to sound good, or the gain's up too high and then it takes in too much extra audio or too much extra noise. Alright. Gotta get to stream. Let's find a shareable link here. Copy and paste. Okay. So I think we're pretty close to getting started here. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and, well, I might just let it run. Maybe I should pause it. I don't know. But I'm gonna take a couple minutes here, and then we'll get started. I'm gonna experiment with pausing the stream. I don't know if I've ever done that before. So. Alright, we should be back. Roll. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get started here. I think I'm not sure if we have some viewers. Sometimes this doesn't update right away, but it's possible people are not available. Posted this in our group Discord. Me and some of my friends. Most of the people who actually view this channel are friends, but I've gotten a lot of other viewers from around the world on these streams. But in terms of consistent viewership, it's mostly just been my friends. So, although I think one of the streams we had, maybe like 2 or 3 streams ago, like really popped off. We got about 3 times the normal viewership. So it was pretty impressive. But anyway, so as you can see here, this might look a little different than usual. And the reason is we have finally achieved Pro Rank. I was on the cusp of this back in, I think it was April or May of last year. And then after May, like from June, I don't think I played at all in June. And I played a tiny bit in July and maybe a tiny bit in August. I played a little more in... it was actually a decent amount in August, like a small amount. And then just a tiny amount at the beginning of September. And then pretty much none in October. And then we came back a little bit in November. And then December was when I actually made the return. So we had, other than like last April or May, the closest we'd been to Pro Rank was just last season. And then this season we actually achieved it. So... yeah, this is currently where I'm sitting. This 232 now is, I don't know what this number is. It might be still like where I am in North America, but I think it's North American Pro Rank, because I was higher than that. I was at like 100 something, like as I was climbing the ranks, and then I probably would have been a lot higher there in the non-Pro Rank sector, but now in Pro Rank it should be 232 in North America. So that's how that works. We played all our Scoia'tael games, all our Skellige games, Syndicate, believe it or not, and Monsters. So Monsters we're still working on. I'm definitely going to be playing the remaining 7 games to get the placement here, but that's possibly as far as I'll play this season. And I might play some other ones just for the heck of it. But yeah, we got this border from the Yennefer thing. This is actually the same border that Gwent uses. And I can see why, because it's very big, but it showcases the, what do they call it? The avatar well. So I like it. I'll probably keep this border for a while unless I see something else. But I decided to use the special Pro Rank icon. Since I might switch it out after this season. I mean, I don't care about flaunting it too much, but it's there for this special stream. So the plan here, I played a number of games where I was 1 game away from Pro Rank, and the second to last game before actually reaching Pro Rank was very interesting, so we'll get to that in a bit. But the plan for this stream is going to be pretty short. I'm just going to go through, and by short I mean like it's going to be under 2 hours. So we're going to go through the games that I played leading up to that. I did recordings of them instead of streaming, and I'm gonna go through and basically just analyze how the game went, what I did right, what I did wrong, that kind of stuff. And then towards the end of it, I might end up getting into a few games. Maybe we're just going to try to finish up the monster placements. And then in the following stream, we're going to do draft. So on Thursday, I'm going to do a special celebration stream for the 1-year anniversary of streaming Gwent, and that'll be playing draft and maybe doing some other custom games or something. So now I'll tab out of this. I think we should be able to leave Gwent running in the background. Let's see. Boop, boop, too much. There we go. Alright, so I will say one final thing. The deck that I actually reached pro rank with is not at all the deck I expected to be playing when I got there. But when you get there, you'll see kind of why I was able to do it with that deck. So this first match, these first 3 clips, I actually had the NVIDIA Shadow Play set to separate audio tracks. I'm not sure where the other audio tracks are, if it even saved them in a separate folder. So these first 3 are not going to have any audio, but I'll just do the commentary over them. So in this game, I was playing Tatterwing versus whatever our opponent was playing. I didn't actually quite see that. But we drew, looks like a... Oh, yeah, it cut off the first... It actually cut off the first round, so I'm not exactly sure what I played. But it's against Nilfgaard Enslave. I think this was actually Enslave 5, if I'm not mistaken. So this was going to be a Colgrim deck. It might be Enslave 6, though. I mean, we'll see depending on what the... You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I think it was Enslave 6. Because I think they did take one of my 6-power drones later. So I'm guessing this is part of why they passed. Is because they could play... So they could play these. But actually, heads up, this is actually, I think it is Enslave 6, but it's an Ivo deck that we're going up against. So it's not typical Assimilate, or not Assimilate at all, really. They're just going to be focusing on playing a lot of tactics and just a lot of cards in general. So that kind of makes sense why they're probably thinking, okay, well, we're going to be playing Lara Doran here. It's going to be a lot of boost, so they're going to need something to counteract that. So they just kind of pass round 1 after I use a bit of swarm stuff. Maybe they're hoping I don't draw the other swarm stuff. And then they're going to push. But if I had Tatterwing in this round, this could be very dangerous for them. In fact, if I had Tatterwing in hand this round, there's a decent chance that I just would have won this. So, yeah, spoiler alert. Maybe if you were paying attention, it wouldn't be so much of a spoiler. But like these games that we're going to be reviewing, like I don't actually win them. So, because these are all where I'm like 5 out of 5 on the Mosaic. I'm about to go to pro rank, and then I lose it, and then I reset back to 4 out of 5. So right there, we bait out leader. This is really the best leader they're going to get, in all honesty. The only other exception would maybe be like a Naglfar crew, but like it's never going up above 6. Like they're just getting 6 points, flat 6 points. That's it. I mean, there could be some exception if they like create a card from my hand and somehow get Frost on the row. Like that's possible. But yeah, so we're swarming in this round. Pretty standard. I mean, Tatterwing has a good long round, a good short round. I should say specifically Tatterwing Lara Doran does. So we're just right here, yeah, just trying to protect, some of these cards maybe. And the game's plan is pretty simple. We're gonna go up here. We might slam a Sarah Kwan to get rid of one of these, like so they can't copy it with slave drivers, but they probably have another one in hand. And here comes the Skellen. So this is what I was hoping to maybe play around. So they're going to take out some bodies. Well, I would have personally taken out bodies if I were playing it, but they just end up going for the... I mean, they get 3 bodies out, but they could have taken 4 bodies out. And they're each getting 2. So each one of these would have played for 3 if they had hit these. But as is, like the first 2 only played for, I don't know, like 2, maybe it played for 5. I don't know, they might have only lost like 1 point off of that, but it wasn't optimal. So I believe right now I'm just trying to decide if I want to play leader, but I figure I need to go probably full leader if I'm gonna push. So I do full leader here. Oh, we did. Okay, so we already brought out. Okay, I guess we brought out Laura Darn in round 1. That's why it doesn't pay to have it the first round missing. Now, pretty soon there's going to be an interesting calculation made, because I think by this point in the game I knew it was Ivo. And so a lot of it is like, okay, we got to bait out the Ivo, because or just shorten the round enough so that the Ivo is pretty crappy in round 3. But since I committed the Apier and Phantom for the second Lara Dor in this round, we're kind of forced to like either just bait out the Ivo, and if necessary we have to play Tatterwing to get it out. But I was thinking like maybe there's a chance that we have enough points. So pretty shortly here you're going to see me going through the card history, and I'm going to be calculating. Okay, I guess I commit Tatterwing now. I think it's with the Seraquan, whether or not I decide to use that as removal, because I figured this would bait out the Ivo. Although realistically, I don't know, we have like the Heat Wave, we have the Seraquan. So the Seraquan's playing for like 12 points probably. They extend the round, which this is actually really good for me, because I was in a bit of a predicament where I was maybe going to have to pass on. I mean, honestly, this is not looking that good for me here. I probably should not have committed as much swarm stuff, but I mean, there wasn't really much more I could do, except for what, in retrospect, what I think the move would have been. I think I should have committed maybe 1 or 2 cards and then a Tatterwing, or even just drop the Tatterwing off the bat to try to get them to like have to play really high tempo stuff. But chances are we could have played like Tatterwing and maybe 1 or possibly 2 other cards and just got like a ton of payoff from that. But because they decided to play the Artel Ape Dahi, I believe is his name, and give me this card back, we were able to get some extra wide boost. So this actually kind of helped us more than it helped them. So they get 2 cards there, increasing their Ivo by 2 points. They're down by about 12, well 13 to win. So this is where I start doing the calculations. I'm like, okay, well I know if they play Ivo here, they probably get ahead. But should we try to trade other cards? Because if we, like, say their other cards are crap, and we play the Seraquan, their Ivo is probably not going to be enough to get ahead right now, because the Seraquan's going to be playing for 12 points. We could also Heat Wave both. And I believe I do play all my cards, and I basically am just trying to push for the 2-0, hoping that whatever else they have is not enough. But keep in mind they do still have this click on War Council, so that's going to be worth, is it 4 and 2 armor, or is it 6 and 2? It is 4 and 2 armor. Or no, 6. No, it is 6. So this is worth 6 points here, plus it gives 1 to the Ivo. So right now we're 2 cards down, because we played 1 card down in round 1. Well, we're technically only 1 card down, because we went a card down in round 1, and then we had first save. So there's second. So here's where I'm calculating what their Ivo is worth. I don't remember, when we could kind of calculate along the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it's an Ivo starts at 1, I think it is. So it's like a 16-point Ivo right now, but like 17, 18, and I think Ivo counts itself. So I think it's like a 19 or possibly even 20-point Ivo. If they had a Slave Driver in their hand, it would be pretty amazing, because then they get Slave Driver, they get a Nausicaa, and they get Battle Prep. So I decide right here we're going to want to push, which I don't know if this 2-0 push was right. The thing is, I was looking at my deck here, and my deck is pretty bad for a short round. Like, best case scenario, I mean, they're probably going to have, I guess they play these both from hand. But anyway, we decided to Heat Wave that, because I was doing the math, and I was like, okay, the Ivo alone is not enough. So I should get their last card, and we can just go do a short round 3, and then we'll just see what happens. They Vilgefortz, they bring out one of our, I think it's Alpha, the Alpha Werewolf, or Wolf Pack, I think is what it's called. And so yeah, they got a 19-point Ivo. They win that round by 2 points. So if they didn't have a Vil, I mean, their Vilg, to be fair, did not play for very much. I think they removed a 4, and they brought it a 1, so it played for a net, like, it's like 3 plus 5, so it only played for 8 points. I mean, if they'd play something tall, you know, we could Spores it, but the Spores is just kind of a stop play. It doesn't give us any points. So my best chance of winning was just kind of to hope that they, you know, we just got to go for points. And realistically, I mean, we don't, this one would be okay. It's just we don't have any tall enough cards to actually trigger the Thrive. So it's a pretty bad hand, and I was like, okay, this is probably my best chance of winning, and we just get, like, a lot of Frost value. So we open up with Frost on, actually, I do a removal? I was thinking maybe I would on Nero and do a removal. But the thing is, they probably don't have any tokens to take this out on. So this is like the first play. Then we'd want to do Frost on both rows with this, and then the Neuromancy is just going to be whatever's the most points, which is probably only, like, at best it's worth 4 points. So anyway, their hand is not, I'm just going to skip ahead. Their hand's not very, I mean, they have crap cards, but because I'm playing with Tatterwing and, like, all the Tatterwing payoff is gone, some of my cards are, like, lower point value than they normally would be. And of course now they got 1 power unit, so I basically am probably just going to go for this, kill it at 4. I guess I don't. Maybe I thought it didn't matter. That's actually not the move. I should have killed this, because they're just going to keep, yeah. I mean, it doesn't make a difference in the end. We were still going to be outpointed, because I would kill this off, and then they'd have, what is it, 4, 5, 6, and then they would still play this, so they still have way more points than us. So I guess I go in. It doesn't really matter what I go in for. But I just move it there to get the extra Frost damage. But it's not going to trigger, actually. So that should have been the move the previous turn, or I should have just killed that thing off altogether. So that's the first match that we lost against Godzilla, or Gojira, as we call it. So next up, I don't remember what we played in this one. Oh, this was Alchemy. So part of the thing is I wanted to get to pro rank with Alchemy, because in terms of one of the professional Gwent players that I followed more would be Pyabol. And so I wanted to, that was the one that he broke the MMR record with, a very similar deck to this. So I was like, I want this to be the deck that I get to pro rank with. But I think we're in a pretty control-heavy meta, or at least pushing towards pro rank. We're playing against a lot of decks that have multiple tall punishes, or just really crazy tempo, like Death Wish decks are kind of in this season because of the recent buff to Death Wish. So yeah, there's a lot of decks that this it will struggle against, because you're not usually going to have tempo or be able to win round 1. And then if they just tempo pass on you round 2, like if you can go like a card down and they don't have much control, then maybe it's okay. But because like Draco Turtle can really kind of catch up. But say you don't get that in round 2 and you have to push for like a long round 2 and they just pass on you, it really hurts this deck, I feel like. So this is not a full game here, but basically I was playing against Skellige Witchers and this worked out pretty well. We established a good board state during this round. I think they recognized it. They just might not have had I mean, they did win. I'm trying to remember what happened here, though. So, yeah, I passed because I knew I could get multiple cards. So I got 2-card advantage on them, which was pretty solid. Now, of course, they are going to be closer to getting Adrenaline, but it's still not really going to matter. Like, card advantage is going to hurt this deck. So they try to thin. I mean, they could try to push for 2-0 here, I guess, but I got 2 more cards on them, so like I pretty much always win this. What actually happens, though, and I'm playing with Blue Boy in this version, which I don't know if I played it on stream with Blue Boy, but I was just trying some like tricky stuff with this just to make the deck a little more, have a little bit more control, or another option for a point swing. Because largely it's kind of like, other than the Draco Turtle play, it's kind of slow points with these engines. Like once you get them established, it's like mega points per turn if you play an Alchemy. But if the Preachers get answered, then it's kind of an issue. So they Geralt here. They end up making a major mistake I guess it does go to a round 3. The move here is always to kill this. I'm just going to skip through here because this was not actually a game that was one away from pro rank. But anyway, I have to end up playing, I think, that, and then play the Alchemy. Yeah, play the Golden Froth. But this is kind of funny. This is why I decided to play. So I guess they forgot that they had how Eskel worked, and so they played it, and it didn't kill this, and so they just forfeited. But it didn't matter. Like in this round, like there was pretty much, I don't know, they might have sort of had a chance, but I think we were still winning that. But anyway, so now we're at 4 out of 5, or is it 5 out of 5? 4 out of 5. Oh, this isn't one away either. I think I kept this in because this was also a successful game. This is the one we were playing against Clog, and we ended up actually, I don't remember what happens here actually. They end up forfeiting because they realized we're probably just going to outpoint them or something. Or maybe it's just because we have the locks. But I have a decent number of answers to Kolgrim here. I mean, we can like lock it. It's possible that if they don't get like enough points in one round, we can just use Draco Turtle. Well, actually, no matter what, basically, we'll have basically locks and Draco Turtle with the Care Troll Clash to answer it. So their Kolgrim pretty much dies the turn it comes out, which that's probably the better answer than locking it, because say they're playing the version with Kingslayer and they're going to try to copy it, they can't they can still copy it if we lock it. So it also gives something extra for the priest to hit. So I actually do like this version of it. If you don't get the card combos, it can kind of be awkward because, like, for instance, like you have to have pretty much this card and and the Gigascorpion decoction for the blue ghost to be particularly high value, but it's really nice on blue coin because I can actually push more with this version of it. Okay, I'm just gonna skip ahead here. Oh, this is what. Okay, yeah. So this is what was so cool about this. So they play their Calvite. We're still ahead by 5, and I'm just like, we got a lot of points left on the board. So I think I just pass here. Because there's nothing I really want to damage. I mean, I could play the Gigascorpion decoction on the blue boy and get 12 points, but then that basically just guarantees a pass from them, and we go a card down, and I'm like, well, I'm just going to get card advantage here because they're playing Clog, and Clog plays pretty slow. So I'm thinking the chance of them actually catching up without committing something very significant is very low. So really my opponent probably should have passed there. I guess their idea is that they're just going to go a couple cards down and then try to push for a 2-0 and that their Colgrim will be enough. But I don't think it ever would have been. So we still stay ahead. We already got 2 card advantage on them now, so that's why I passed. And then they're just like, yep, it's too much. So we win that one. Okay, but that one was not on the edge. This is the edge of Pro Rank. So this is at 5 out of 5 on the Mosaic. Playing Alchemy versus Off the Books. So they set up their Sesames in Graveyard. Now let's see what our opening hand is here. So we have Purify. We don't have our bronze combos in hand. So basically we're going to be looking at probably playing three bad cards and passing. There's a chance we could play Gedineth and just kind of push, but I don't think that's what I'd want to do here. I think the decision that I was maybe trying to make here is if I wanted to commit this in that round, or if we should just play, like, try to get the combo in round 2. So it looks like I decided to go get the combo in round 2. We're going to play a Druid. We'll probably play Crow's Eye Rhizome, and we got 2 locks in it. So we'll probably either play the locks or we'll play the Purify. But they don't usually play locks, so I would think the Purify would be the better card to play here. Whereas our locks, like playing them from hand and then replaying them, with a Crow Clan Druid would be probably ideal. We don't have a body, which kind of sucks. But I believe I just play the Rhizome from hand here. Are we gonna I don't know why I'm taking so long on this. See, when I'm not actually in the game, it's a lot easier for me to figure out what I'm gonna do because you don't have that pressure. But what I would do here, I would just play the Rhizome and then I would play a Purification on the Rhizome and then just pass. Which it looks like that's probably what we're going to end up doing. I just took a long time on it. Okay. It's possible I lock it though, because we'll have a lot of access to locks. So I'll probably just lock it to try to, make it look like we're going to push more to see if we can get some other cards out. And I might not even play the Purify here. It's very possible I just pass at this point. Because I do think playing that slow, playing the Purify right here, realistically, if my opponent sees that, they're going to be able to tell I'm playing really slow, and they're just going to pass. Now, if I had Draco Turtle, I guess I could catch up, but at the same time, I'd have to play the Care Troll and then clash the Draco Turtle. And that's expensive, and since like just using that kind of removal to catch up is pretty bad. You know, you want to use it in a round where your opponent's actually pushing and you can deal with one of their engines, or just wipe out a really tall card. Okay, so we go to round 2. So right now, and it's unfortunate we gave our opponent so much carryover, but we're going to be developing our own carryover here in round 2. So it's mostly fine. Purifies, Crow's Eye is going to go back. That's good. We do have access to all of our artifacts. So that's probably the hand. Although I think I would mulligan the Bear Witcher Adept, because I don't have the full combo in hand and there's no way I can get it. Alright, so they go with Candle. In this particular case, yeah, just Avalok for Care Troll to make sense. There's no units on the board, so go with the guy on the left on Crate Warrior. Oh, I forgot. I was actually going to play these on faster speed. So we'll play it at like 1.5 times speed. So the opponent plays a Savola. Just a lot of tempo. Could be a lock with King of Beggars. Mushy Truffle? I guess I was probably afraid of committing to getting it, because like, what if they just like decide to go for a long round and just pass on me like that? That's kind of, I would need to see more commitment into the round, like past the 7 cards, to commit to getting this. So I think that's why I did that. Oh, it's this matchup. Okay. So their junior gets insane value in this match. I'm trying to remember what happens. Like I don't want to waste the ale. So I think we play ale next. But I think really the response here, considering I have a bunch of small engines and who knows what kind of stuff they have in their hand to do a little bit of damage, we should probably just answer the junior with the Draco Turtle and get ahead. But I think I end up just playing the ale here because we want to make sure we set up that carryover and get as many turns of it as we can. Plus at this point, like the junior, they're going to want to stay in the round with the junior, so I'm not worried about them passing here. But this is, as long as that junior survives, this is going to be a very tough matchup. Now I think what I end up doing is locking it with the Shackles, and then they actually have a Purify. Honestly, the blue boy would be really solid right now. I'm guessing I probably don't see it, but like the bare knuckle brawler just hitting the blue boy is going to trade down pretty significantly for him. So I think the only reason I don't play blue boy here is because I was hoping, because I know I'm going to have to go to a round 3, so we're hoping to save him for like our bronze combo as well, maybe. And then if the Bear Witcher gets answered, we'll just blue boy. Plus, actually, I think a Giga Scorpion Decoction is still in there. But I guess I do play this. So that's a good play. Although that was really good on their part. Super good to remove that. So this point, I would say not answering the junior directly has been very detrimental. And I'm actually not sure why I did the Draco Turtle here. I don't think that was the move. I should have just used the shackles on the junior just to kill him. And now that gets poisoned, and so we go in for a Purify. Well, at least this puts us ahead, though. But then if they have 2 more poisons, we're basically screwed. Which I think might be what actually happens. Okay, so we replayed it with Bride. So actually it's safe. That was probably stupid. I probably should just put everything into the Draco. Oh, never mind. I forgot about Morels. So that kind of wins in the game. And I saved getting it, thinking that, like, oh, I wouldn't have to use it and I could just push in round 3. But the getting it is... like, I have to commit it now to catch up. And it just, I don't think it happens. And they completely board wipe me. So, like, the junior super hard carried this game. Really, I think the move should have been, as soon as the junior came out, lock it or Draco Turtle. But I think probably lock it. If they purify it, they purify it. You can lock it again. But at the moment, I don't know. I think I do have enough points here. Because we'll proc it. We'll get the... yeah, we do have enough points here. Then we have to use our Mushy Truffle. So we get to a round 3. So that's why getting it is so good. Because it's... even though they're up by, like... what was it, like 20-something, 30 points or something, we can get like 30 points off of getting it. But they have card advantage, so it's not looking good. I think my only chance of winning here would be, I don't know, getting that combo is pretty good, but they might have answers. Clearly I'm not going to get it. And then I think I was fishing for the Dwim. So I don't know if I played this deck on stream with the Dwim Viandra. But I decided it needed a little more control options for matchups kind of such as this. It's just a shame we didn't draw it earlier. So the correct move here would be... you want the infusions, but you don't want this to die. So I'd say Bear Witcher Adept. Then, yeah, you do the infusion. Then you can do play the Dwim to reset the Care Troll, which I think is what we're just gonna do. It's a pretty good attempt, but it's pretty easy for them to just kind of just play around this. Like the fact that they actually boosted this was a pretty big mistake. If they wouldn't have boosted that, they win very easily, like very comfortably, I should say. So we got a decent amount of points here for this, like 19. But the thing is, they still have the leader, and I don't think all the whatever they call those didn't come out of grave yet, so they're just going to have a lot of points here with that Oxenfurt guard. See, now they have 8 in the bank. So yeah, in the end, it wasn't particularly close. Well, I would say mostly that was just because we didn't answer the junior. If we would have answered the junior in round 1, like as soon as it came up, we probably don't have. We might even get an earlier pass off there and go for a longer round 3, in which case we pretty much always win that. Or at least, I mean, it's going to be close. Because they have an open sesame. So I think that was the end of alchemy. We might have one more game of alchemy. No. Okay. So, I thought I was going to either enter pro rank with alchemy, with warriors, because I did play a little bit of Skellige Warriors and did kind of okay with it, although it's not as strong as it was. Well, I should say Raid Warriors specifically. And then, realistically, I kind of thought it was going to be Tatterwing, because Tatterwing is kind of hard to counter in a lot of cases. Like, unless you just have a wide punish, you have something that does well against Swarm. Tatterwing's kind of just like the ultimate powerhouse. Like the only the cards that really would counter Tatterwing would be a Squirrel to kill Hive Mind. Just wipe it out of the graveyard as soon as it comes up. Any kind of like Curse of Corruption or something that punishes the tallest unit to get rid of Tatterwing, because it's got immunity, so you can't target it directly. So you need something that just destroys the highest unit. And then any kind of like wide punish stuff. Even like Northern Realms, some Northern Realms like Siege decks and stuff like that are kind of difficult to go up against. But oftentimes you can, if you just swarm the board quick enough, they can't establish enough engines. Like without like an Onager or something and a bunch of charges, like it's very hard for them to wipe out your board quick enough. And if you can just get like the boost from Lara and then maybe like put a Tatterwing on top of that, you're pretty well set. But spoiler alert, this is the deck that I end up actually getting to pro rank with. And I'm actually going to go back to Gwent at this time and show something. So we get there with, I just call it Jackpot Experiment. I need to change the name of it because it's more than an experiment. It's very proven at this point. The way I used to play this deck, we did not have a Royal Decree, and I did not have the Eavesdrop in here. So we were playing it with Adriano the Mink, which got a buff this season. It was 8 provisions. It went down to 7. And then in the 6 provision slot, what was I playing? Did I tweak it more than that? Honestly, in the 6 provision slot, I probably should have been playing... I was going to say Maxi, but maybe Maxi's not here. I should have been playing like a Fisher King or something like that. If it was at 6. I don't think it was at 6. What did I do? Oh, I remember what. Because of the buff, I was actually a provision under. So we were playing a 5P card. So I probably, should have been playing a Maxi or something like that. But I was not. Instead, I was playing an Oxenfurt Guard, which has good payout in the Yago round potentially, because it's. But the thing is, it's too greedy. I think it's better off just to keep. Like, you're only getting, every single time you spend down to 0 coins, you're only getting an extra 1 boost, so you're getting 2 boosts instead of 1 boost to like adjacent. Well, actually, you're boosting adjacent units by 2, so you're actually getting an additional 2 boost. But I was like, outside of that situation as a finisher, this card's really not that great. I got a number of horde stuff in the deck, so I don't really want to be spending down to 0. I want to be like spending down to maybe like 3 a lot of the times, or maybe even 2. Like if there's like if it's just these Passive Flora Peaches that want to get the boost at Horde 4. Because say I got a Novigrad out on the board and a Tax Collector, then I can get back up to 4 on the same turn. But I don't want to be spinning down to 0. So I just found like drawing that at the right time, it just really wasn't working, and most of the time I ended up mulliganing it anyway. So I was like, it's not really doing much good in the deck. So I took that out, and I was like, the main problem I was running into is this deck was just not consistent enough. And Adriano the Mink, despite the buff, like it's playing for pretty good value on deploy, and especially if you have at least, typically you're only going to have 1 Slice Seductress out on board, but let's just say you start your hand with 1, and then you do the Madam, and you get the other one out, and you can do 2. So even if you do 2, you're maybe getting 4 profit. That's 10, that's effectively 10 points. 6 plus your 4, plus you're putting the Slice Seductress out on the board. So it's another 4. So it's like a 14-point play on deploy. Plus you're, at the very least, you're usually bonding it. Like even if it's only 13 points, like you profit 1 less, you're still bonding that with some other Slice Seductress like 90% of the time. So it sets up a really, like 2 really solid engines. As long as they're not, answered. But, unanswered. You get a 1-point boost, like both of them get 1-point boost. So you're going up by 2 points every time an opponent plays a card if they don't answer it. But it just wasn't cutting it. So I decided I need something, because like it was usually either somehow I'd miss my Yago a surprising number of times. The Yago is at the very bottom of the deck. I think I had within 5 or 6 games, there was 2 times where Yago was either the second to last, and one case I knew he was the very last card in the deck. So I was like, that kind of sucks. And then usually Madam, we weren't drawing her early enough. Because I had the reverse happen where I would draw Yago early on, but we want to save him as a finisher. And then Madam was at the bottom of the deck, and I had no way to tutor her. So without... And here's the unfortunate thing. So with King of Beggars, we need to tribute 12 coins in order to summon him out and to get the refund for all those 12 coins. Well, Morels is 6, but Adriana the Mink was only 5. So if we tributed those 2 and we missed the Madam, it's not very good. So, because you're not going to get it out, and then you don't get a full refund on the Madam. So I decided, okay, we're going to go Madam. We need to tutor the Madam. So that's why I put the Royal Decree in, and then the Eavesdrop. I'll just go back to the deck here. The Eavesdrop, profit 5. It just provides another way for us to set up the Madam in round 1, and then we can also discard or remove a card from our hand at the bottom of the deck, which there's a decent number of bricks we can get in this deck. So Sewer Raiders can brick, Slice Seductresses, Passive Flora Peaches. So it's a really good way to just put one of those cards back. And King of Beggars. King of Beggars is the worst card to brick. So anyway, that's what I did to change that deck around. And by golly, that small amount of extra consistency went a huge way, and it turned this deck into almost what sometimes felt like a meme deck into something that was very consistent. I pulled off the combos in almost every game, and we were able to climb super well. So, is this the one that yeah, I think this is the first one with it. But unfortunately, this one we do lose. So we're going up against Northern Realms Pincer Maneuver. Let's see, so opening hand. Yeah, we don't have Madam, and we don't have the card to tutor her this round. So I think my strategy here is probably, you usually don't want to commit Novigrad in round 1. If you can save it for round, like carry over into round 3, it's better. So I think I just kind of roll the Eavesdrop and hope we draw the Madam, which we don't. But still not too bad. and I think I put the Sewer Raiders at the bottom, which was a interesting decision because there's many cases in which I feel like just taking the Thin earlier would have been better, but at least now we know we're not going to brick it, so that's an okay move. And I think at this point I was probably assuming already it's going to be like an Ada Draug deck with Revenants. And of course that's a huge threat right there. Like if I wanted to stay in the round at all, we need to answer that. Thankfully I have Horson's Freak Show, so we'll just drop that card, kill the Botchling, because this combo is super oppressive if left unchecked, because the Botchling, it flips and transforms into its other version. But with Ada, like every time a cursed unit enters the battlefield, she boosts it by that cursed unit's power. So every time they click the Botchling, it's just 5 points per turn. Alright. So from here, the question is, do I want to pass or do we want to play in? I don't remember exactly what I do. I think I pass here, but if I was playing right now, I would definitely pass. Just to make it so, I mean, if they click here, they probably want to end up dry passing next round and just going for the long round, but they decide they don't want to do that. So we get some decent commitment from them. I mean, we got 3 gold cards out. We allowed them to play a card that would lead to some carryover, and they don't get it. And then we would draw a Royal Decree. So right here is where we have a really solid move. So we can establish Novigrad to get the coins. We can Royal Decree, get Madame Marquise. We could play the other Sly Seductress. And then if we just play Saul, like 9 times out of 10, that is like a pass that's going to get you like at least 2 card advantage. Just because it's so many points. Like if the opponent plays a card, we're getting 2 points a turn from our Sly Seductresses, and then the Saul's getting 3 points a turn. So it's possible I take the Sewer Raiders here, thinking that maybe they were going to just pass and go for a longer round with Vandergrift carryover, but I don't know. They might have done that if I had played the Madam, but the thing is, Madam gets us ahead, so I don't think that was the move. I probably should have waited to take the Thin. But now we see Siege come out, so it's very clear they're committing to the round. So we should 100% take Madame Marquise at this point. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And it's nice, so she's going to get a little extra boost and be protected. That's the nice thing about this leader. I would say for anybody that's looking to play Syndicate as well, and like is getting into the game, but is a little bit intimidated by Syndicate because of all the coins and stuff, I would recommend playing Jackpot as the leader because it's very forgiving. And you don't have to worry about over-profiting because, I mean, you do to some extent. But any unit cards that give you profit, if you over-profit, it'll boost them by the amount you over-profit. That was really good Philippa right there. I should have commented on this decision. I'll just go back to it real quick. So, off the Novigrad, a Peach would have been okay too, but I decided I just prefer the 6 coins because, like, chances are it's going to end up being just 6 points of boost and we'll have 10 points. So, yeah, it's just points but quicker. Plus, it also gives something. I think the main reason is I thought it gives them something else to answer quicker. But I was not expecting them to play a Philippa right there. Which is kind of frustrating. But like, we still would want to drop the Sol here. It's going to get us 7 points. And we're in a position where... Although, actually... yeah, dropping the Sol is probably the way to go. If the other Slice Seductress had survived, I think you just always do Slice Seductress. But given we don't have that on the board, I think playing the Sol is probably the way to go. Because it gets us ahead. Whereas the Slice Seductress does not. And that could give them a really good pass. Because it would only... Where does it get us in? It would have been 23... 24, yeah, we would have been down by 1. And then if they pass, we could have tied. Well, actually, the Vandergrift's going up by 1, so we wouldn't tie. So Slice Seductress would have given them a really good pass if they wanted it. But it looks at this point that they're just going to 2-0. And here's actually where things start going downhill for me. So they play an Onager. I don't have any way of answering it. I don't have the second poison, but even so, I mean, a 2-turn removal for a 4-point card doesn't really feel great. But I know with the Onager, I want to get these engines boosted up just in case like the random pings like hit them. I don't want them to remove it with like their next siege play. So here's where I was getting a little bit worried, because I know they got a good board state set up here. They got 2 Onagers, which is kind of scary. And they still got 2 leader charges, and they're up by 5 points. I mean, now granted, they're 2 cards. Well, they're technically 1 card down on me. But I just know, like, it's looking at this point like, okay, no matter what, I'm probably going to have to commit the Yago in the round. But I figured the Slice Seductress is not going to get much value in a later round, and the fact that it just gets us ahead, we might as well play it. But at this point, the play is definitely like spend the Yago this next round, because otherwise, like, everything else over profits for us. I mean, we can spend down, but nothing else gets us ahead. So we're going to have to play Yago here to get ahead. But 3 Onagers is super scary. So we'll spend down. We'll get our Yago out. Gotta click leader. Click leader. Come on. Go ahead. Do it. Do it. Click leader. I don't know what I'm looking at right there. I was worried that I was going to rope too. But all I had to do is drop it. I don't have to actually spend. I do want to spend down 1. So we did exactly what we needed to. The only thing is, if they killed the Chorus Blacksmith here, it would be very bad. Okay, so it is pretty bad. Yeah. We actually... Okay. So it is kind of bad that we roped. It's very bad that we roped there and actually didn't get the other clicks, because now I don't have anything I can spend the coins on. So yeah, we just... I mean, I can play Conjurer's Candle, but we're going to over profit by 4. So at the very least, I should have spent... If I could have spent 4 more coins on the Chorus Blacksmith, we would probably be fine. But as is, I just don't think I have enough points here. I mean, now if they just had a regular seat, like a card with 1 order, it wouldn't be a problem. But the Traveling Priestess had, I believe it was 7 boost on it. So that 7 boost is getting an additional 7 for each of these. So that Traveling Priestess played for 28 plus 6. So it played for 34 points right there. Plus this is still pinging 1. So yeah, that was kind of a nightmare or long round scenario for this deck. And even after this game I was just thinking, man, what if my opponent just didn't draw the Onager? I mean, the thing is, they have, with Pincer Maneuver, I believe, to be fair, I don't know if I've ever, no, I have played. I did play a Traveling Priestess deck at one point, but it was just kind of played on ladder too much, and I kind of got sick of playing it, even though I didn't play very much. So I deleted it from my deck list, and I haven't played it in a while. But Pincer Maneuver, I believe you actually get to, maybe it is just draw, I think it's just draw a random card from your deck. Okay, so this one, I was having some issues with Shadow Play. It didn't record correctly. So we only got a little bit of these matches. This was not the match I intended on playing, but I was playing this versus a Tempo Dwarves deck. And they were playing the Tempo Dwarves deck with, without like a non-Golden Necker, but other than that, it's very similar to the Golden Necker deck that I've played, that just puts a lot of armor and then slams points. And this one we outpointed pretty easily with the Yago. I mean, it's going to be, I guess, reasonably close at the end, because they get 10 points off of that leader, so only win by 10. But this next game against Fruits Yezgith, the thing is, in these first 40 seconds of the game, it kind of sums up this whole match. And you'll see why. So, opening hand, we get access to Madam, which is usually what we're looking for. We're like looking to either have Yago in hand and Madam in hand, or both, or access to him with Royal Decree. So this is a pretty solid opening hand. We got some engines, we got some bad cards, we have the Sol, so we can push really hard if we want, and we have the Novigrad. So the Novigrad will be our opening play. But this right here, I didn't draw Morels. And not drawing Morels is what lost me this game. I don't recall exactly how it turned out, but I know we lost because they were able to push way too hard here. And I think we ended up passing and going to the round 2, but then I just wasn't able to contest round 1. And they had a very strong round 2, and we beat them, but then we didn't have a strong enough round 3, because I think I had to use the Yago in round 2. So just not being able to answer the I don't know, the Ethereal, yeah, was bad. And it would have been pretty slow to answer anyway. But what would have saved me the game is I would have played Novigrad. And like, I can kind of keep tempo with them for a while, so they would have gotten like at least 1 or 2 more Ethereal clicks off, but they wouldn't have been able to just spam it over and over again. So I would have been able to push deep into the round and probably could have won it. So now we're getting into the last 2 games. So, this game right here, this is where we get a change of pace. Again, spoiler alert, I actually win this game. So I'm at 5 out of 5 on the Mosaic. And so I thought this game was going to get me into pro rank. But I knew that in the settings there's a little arrow you have to click that determines whether you accept the pro rank conditions or not. And I thought, okay, why? It's going to ask me when I go here. It's going to be like, congratulations, you qualified for pro rank. Would you like to accept the terms and conditions and proceed into pro rank? Well, it doesn't do that. So if you like didn't know pro rank existed and you just played up to this point in the ladder, you would never know unless you just go to the unless you hear it somewhere else, or you go into the settings and you happen to see that there's an arrow for whether or not you accept pro rank regulations or not. So I had to go into the settings, I had to click it, and then we had to play another game after this, which actually put us in pro rank. And by the way, when I said, "Oh, do things look different?" I should have actually looked here, because this is what it looks like. Which it was bugging out before, where even though I had played 26 games with Syndicate, it was just saying 20 for some reason. So I don't know, it's kind of weird. And it also wasn't updating my MMR for each of these. It was still showing the old MMR. So I just had to restart the client, and then it actually shows what my MMR is. Which, by the way, I guess we look at the leaderboards. This is how many games it took to get there. Some of those were disconnects and whatnot, but I did go back and forth quite a bit once I got to rank 1. Like, I would climb all the way up, and then I went all the way back down. It just depended on what matchups I was getting and what decks I was wanting to play. Because I have a hard time playing the same deck over and over and over and over again. It gets kind of just... I feel like I even start playing worse with it. But, yeah, if I go to North America, it's still not showing me... Oh, maybe it is showing me pro rank players now. No, it says Pluto. Okay, it's not showing me pro rank, so you have to be in the pro rank tab. But of pro rank players, I'm not sure how this works, but we're at 2,560 is our ranking. And Piebold actually moved up a little bit. He was, I think, a little bit lower the other day. But in terms of our actual MMR, which I think is how it should have placed us, we're actually somewhere just outside of 1,000, I think. Outside of the top 1,000. Okay, other people have played a lot more, so it's repositioned. Actually, I don't even know. We're probably... Okay, yeah. So we used to actually be... I screenshotted it, but we used to be somewhere around where... I think it was player 1,108. Or no, 1,000. And it was either 1,108 or 1,008. But now people have played more, so their MMRs went up. Until you play all your place, or at least all placement games with 4 factions, you're not gonna be able to see where your actual MMR is technically. So, all right, let's go back, look at those last 2 games, and then perhaps we'll play a few matches, maybe with monsters, just to try to see if we can climb. So we'll go back to here. So we're going up against Scoia'tael Invigorate hand buff. So we got Yago in hand. We have access to Madam with the Royal Decree, so that's pretty solid. I don't really want a brick, so that I have a feeling I'm probably just going to keep the hand here. It's really nice we start on blue coin. Like, this is kind of the ideal hand. I mean, the only thing that would be better about this is if I actually started with Madam in hand. Okay, I actually did risk the brick on that. Interesting. But yeah, starting with blue coin on this deck is pretty much what you always want to do, because you can get the Madam online turn 1. So there's the opening play. With Invigorate, there's a lot of different things that it could be, because I've seen a lot of people don't play it the same way I do. But you are going to almost always see people play 25 units. Or it's going to be a very high unit count, because you don't want the charges to go to waste. Like Torque is pretty much always going to be a staple. And Igleus is a staple, but some people don't play Igleus. This deck did play Igleus, but they did not have it in hand when I thought they did. And you'll see later on, there's some plays that I make specifically trying to play around or bait out the Igleus. Because I was kind of worried. I'm like, well, if they play this, then they get ahead, and I don't want to do this. But they didn't have it in hand when I thought they did. But, I mean, what can you do? I mean, you have to assume, like, that's a kind of a rule of Gwent. You have to assume your opponent has their best cards in hand until you see evidence that they don't. So this is a really solid pass. Like if you just play this round 1, play Madam, your second Size Seductress, and Saul, very few decks can catch up to this. And this, I have no idea why they played this area. I guess just so they could. But because they return her to hand when they lose the round, but they were going to lose the round either way. So I don't know what the point of that was. In fact, it was actually worse because here's the thing. Unless they were planning on mulliganing her, she was boosted. And when she goes back to hand, she loses the boost. So assuming they actually are going to keep this card in hand, which maybe they're probably going to mulligan it actually because it doesn't really do any good for them because they have to win this next round, otherwise they lose the game. So I guess maybe they were just doing it just to be funny or something. So pretty easy to get out of round 1. I would have liked to have pushed a little bit harder. That's the one thing about playing Saul on top of that is most of the time like an opponent, I don't know, I've had a surprising number of times where opponents will keep playing into it and then I'll just get a forfeit.
Special prize, just for you, love.
Okay, that would be a good card to answer with the Freak Show. So I think we definitely would go and do that here. This deck, usually the games will either end in one of two ways if you win. Either, and both of them result in you not being able to actually finish the game. Either you'll play Madame Marquise and then Saul or something, and then pass, and you have so much passive engine value that your opponent plays into it, and then all of a sudden you get like 2 or 3 card advantage, and then they're just like, oh no, I fucked up, and then they'll just forfeit the game. So you only play like basically 3 cards and you win. Or it'll go to like around 2 or 3, either in like a 2-0 or a 2-1 position in round 3, and you'll play Yago for like a big point swing. And you won't even get to do all the clicks, and then your opponent will just be like, yeah, that's too much, I forfeit. So both of them usually result in forfeits. Alright, so that's we like that they boosted that. So we got a really good Morales there. We deny carryover, and it's a 15-point Morales on deploy. Alright, so right now we're basically just going to try to, like, there's consideration for a 2-0 push here, but I'm worried at this point. I'm like, okay, opponent has Torque in their hand, and they probably have an Igleis. They haven't used leader charges. So my hope here was like we just got to like stay ahead enough, hopefully threaten the opponent and get them to use leader charges and hopefully get out the Igleis, and then we'll save Yago and the Course Blacksmith for just a short round 3. So we don't want to eavesdrop here, but we do, and we'll keep the Bensi too, is generally the plan. But I want to play eavesdrop, but I got to spend down, and spending on Candle is kind of not really what I want to do. But I have a feeling I'll probably spend on Candle once and then do the rest with King of Beggars. Yeah. So put that back, and then we'll spend once more just to get down to 3. Interesting. What am I? I'm actually not sure why. I was just spent there just to get ahead, I guess. But I didn't really need to get ahead. And play is definitely a little bit questionable. I think I had the other Coerce Blacksmith in deck, so it makes sense to play it here and then just not spend. I guess I'm going to spend a little bit just to... I don't know why. Because if I wanted to commit the Yago this round, I wouldn't want to spend down. But we're not going to commit it out. Commit the Yago. Okay, so here's where the big decision was. I was like, do they have Igleus or not? Because they played their Thunderbolt here, that's what made me think they have the Igleus. Because I'm like, okay, they can just boost that up. You know, they put... Because Igleus is a deploy ability, but it doesn't happen immediately. It happens... The deploy says, at the end of this turn, you know, double the amount of boost on self. Or boost self by double the amount of boost on self. Is what I think it says. Something like that. So they ignore that. Which I would have had enough points with this, probably, to outpoint an Igleus, but I don't... But that's if I didn't spend down. Because I could have... There'd be 3 more coins I'd spend this turn, plus 3 more coins I get with the Yago. So that's like 6 points that I'd be shorting myself out on. So I assume it's Igleus here. Now the consideration was because they only had these leader charges. If I forced them to do 2 of those, they would lose out on half the value of those leader charges because they don't have 4 cards to boost. They only had 2 cards before, or in this case 1. But I'm like, okay, we just lose to Igleus. But I should have known. I don't know why I didn't know, because this is clearly Torque. And so I guess we could even do the math on it here. I mean, the Torque's not huge. This is 15. I don't know. The Torque's probably, like, at best, maybe like 18 points right now. So let's just say, you know, they're at like 79 points. We can get 6 here, 9 from leader. That brings us up to 15. We get that all back. So then it's 30 points plus the 5 from Yago. 35 points. Plus, well, Bincy's locked. So 35. And then plus whatever this click is. So we would outpoint whatever they got. I mean, they would use this, but it would be severely wasted. So with the click from this, we basically outpoint anything. So if I was playing this again, I would probably just play the whole hand here. Like there's no way we lose this. And I'm assuming they have like an 18-point Torque. I don't know, it could be more, but I haven't seen them do like that many hand boosty stuff. I mean, their Hawker Smugglers didn't stick. Like I removed them pretty quickly, so we actually give them a lot more leader value this way because they're just going to open up with leader here. But either way, like it's still looking pretty strong here. Because we know now that since they didn't have the Igleus, it's not going to be that big since they didn't have it in hand from the beginning. So, either way, it's going to be pretty solid. But we obviously don't want them to remove Chorus Blacksmith, because otherwise that bodes really bad for us in terms of what spenders we have. So we do the poison. We might as well hold this right here, because I'm not going to spend yet. But at the beginning of this next round, and I had a feeling they probably rolled a Purify, so we're just playing this for the coins. And so there's the Igleus. It's pretty disappointing. It's only a 12-pointer. Which I guess I was a little surprised there that it came out, but I should have known because, yeah, we know that they weren't able to like discard cards, and we knew they had a Torque in hand. So when they only had 1 card left in hand in the previous round, it was obviously a Torque. So this one we just go for the self poison now, but we won't do it now because otherwise we'll kill it. We just play the Chorus Blacksmith. And we know that they're probably not going to have any removal for this. So they got a Circle of Life, but it's not enough points. which that's kind of a sucky card for them to have too, because it just goes on the torque, but it doesn't have anything to boost. That's why I don't like playing it with, like, if I play it with special cards, I like to play a Simless and just play it with like 2 specials, or maybe 4 in some cases. But I think honestly playing Renfree, like Renfree, Harmony, Invigorate is the way to go. So in this case they got a 21 point torque. So I think I was probably right. It was actually probably only a 17 point, because they got 2 points from Circle of Life, which is at 19, and then they got the leader charge, which I believe is only one booster, so that's like 2 there. So yeah, it was only at 17 points. So we could have committed everything in round 2, and we would have won. But we have a pretty fat Yago here, so it's looking good. We're gonna outpoint it, no problemo. 63-42. Now, when we actually got this matchup, I was pretty happy about it.
All right, we got to pro rank. This is so good. This is so good.
I just had to say that. Which, since I didn't have the mic on and I had it on push to talk there, and you can see here at this point I'm kind of like, wait, why is it not saying rank 0? What's going on? But anyway, I got really excited there. I clapped. I was like, woo! Let's go! I was pretty excited. But I have a feeling after this we'll probably go like, I mean, I don't know if it's just putting the time in to get there again. It's quite extensive. So I'm not sure if we're going to be playing in pro rank most seasons, but assuming I have the time to play, I think we'll get to pro rank pretty easily. Moving forward. So that other one was like kind of in some ways should have been the pro rank game, but since I had to do another one, this is the game that actually puts me into pro rank. So we'll watch this, and this one I have commentary on while I was recording it. So I'm gonna be pretty quiet on my end right here, but there'll be a couple things, like if I have any commentary on my commentary, or like say I say something in the video that I maybe don't really agree with or something, I will, I'll comment on that. But otherwise, I'll just let myself do the talking here, and yeah, you'll get to see the pro rank game, and once again how this this Yago jackpot deck.
All right, well that's dumb as heck, dude. So I knew there was some regulations things. This was at not accepted. I guess I figured, I never clicked on it because I figured it wouldn't matter, but you actually have to do this first and then hit I agree, and then you can go to pro rank. So we should have got it, but now we don't. We don't have it. So we gotta go again. Unfreaking believable, dude. I'm still, when I do a stream, I'm gonna play that other game as the game that got me pro rank, because that's the one that I should have got to pro rank with. But we'll get it here. Okay, Vamps. Vampire should be pretty darn easy to beat too. Varina's the main concern, so I'm gonna try to save Morels for her.
Yeah, that's
eavesdrop.
amazing that we get Morels in the opening hand.
I don't need the eavesdrop. Yeah, I don't think there's any reason I would need it. Although I could use it just to get it. I do have a spender actually. Might as well. I don't want a brick. Alright, we'll go for it. Alright, so that's our opening play. Oh, I just realized we got the... It's probably going to sound weird and echoey. But anyway. Alright, so they give bleed.
I'm going to pause this real quick. What I was saying before about Invigorate is when I queued up for Invigorate, I was pretty excited because I was like, okay, this should be an easy matchup, because Invigorate sometimes has difficulty in games. Unless it's very draw dependent. So like for instance, if they had their Glace in hand round 1, could have been a different story. I still think we would have won it, but we also had good access to our cards, and we're playing like a really solid deck. So yeah, but it was definitely a favorable matchup where I'm like, I think I can
really an issue. It's kind of a good card to get out though.
And of course, vampires is really good for us in this case because we are an engine deck, but vampires don't usually have hard removal. In some decks, they'll play a Mastercrafted Spirit, which has removal up to 6. But excess, they're always going to get 6 points of damage off at the very least because it deals excess damage to adjacent units. Well, I guess if you just played like one unit, like right next to an artifact, and they did it, then you wouldn't get the extra damage. But yeah, since they just got bleeding, like our engines are going to stick,
which is good. So I think we always should probably play the second slice seductors here.
I'll consider this my tip.
They might have a gale. Okay, they don't have the gales, I guess.
that would have been a pretty good gale on the Madam.
Would they ever commit? I think we always just play Saul here. We might be able to get more out of them though. Can the Flutter keep tempo? I don't know that a Flutter can keep tempo. This is where we might even be able to just do a pass. I don't know. It's kind of heavy commitment with this. Maybe we should have tried shortening the round, like surprise them with it. That's really good, getting out 2 of those. I don't think we still want to take the Sewer Raiders, I think.
Yeah, there was consideration to pass.
Maybe.
But I think the Sewer Raiders thing was a good one because
Or is that
they have the Blood Marine on there, so they don't want to waste it.
I don't think it matters. He boosts self by the number of bleeding units 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they are getting more per turn than we are. It's a lot of bleeding. I think we definitely play in with another Peach. I could Morel. I'm gonna wait to Morels her.
Yeah, at this point they're effectively just self-bleeding themselves.
It's looking pretty
and
solid.
committing both Necrorats, like I assume they only have access to 2. I mean, they're not gonna.
Oh, we over profited though. That was kind of bad. I should have.
They're not gonna Operator a Necrorat or something.
Blacksmith first.
So yeah, we over profited. That was a misplay for sure.
Got the second Flutter.
And we knew we were gonna play Coerce Blacksmith in this round, so.
I don't think it really does it for him there. I think we always shorten the round. 1 point spender. Actually, we just do the Morels because we get it this round.
Oh, do I not play? I guess maybe I didn't play it, but
yeah, we can still royal decree. So
I mean, that just wins us the round. I think I decided to boost it just so it didn't die from bleeding in case they play in. But
probably should have left it high there. That way the Saul could.
There was really no reason to. Like at most, I should have probably boosted by 1. So that was, I guess, technically a misplay.
So we're down 1 card. That's fine.
So we're only gonna get 3 coins going into round 2. We probably should have had 4.
I don't think that dies. This is good. Yago's huge. I mean, if we get Bincy, we just pretty much win the game. I don't know that we need the extra coins necessarily. Okay, Fizztech.
I just always open up with the eavesdrop. Because I can play Candle in round, or the Poisons in round 3. If we got Bincy, this would have been a pretty easy 2-0.
I'll just
push into it. I just put it back.
We're fine. Interesting fiends. They got a lot of charges left.
Yeah, it's not standard vampires.
Playing here.
I think I've seen
definitely need to start spending.
I think I've seen a vampire deck with Mamuna and fiends just for tempo.
I mean, I could do Freak Show, but I'd rather save it.
Maybe they just missed the Mamuna or something. But it wouldn't matter because they didn't play a fiend in the earlier round.
I don't think it's ever going to die. I don't know. Kind of telegraphing that I have a poison somewhat, but I think we should be fine. What is it, 15, 12? Okay.
And what I mean by that, telegraphing I have a poison is just because, I mean, there's various other things, like I guess it could be candle, but I'm basically telegraphing I have some significant card that's going to profit 4. It was just because of what I was spending down to 5. You know, I'm going to, if profit 4 will get me up to full bank.
Maybe we roll a poison off of that. That would be really sick if we did.
But in this case, they already gave us a
It's gonna
big
come back to
unit, so
4.
obviously they weren't
So I
thinking
think
it was
we
a
always-
poison. But unfortunately, we don't have a way to finish it off.
Poison.
But we get coins, so it's okay. Really, the only objective here is just to shorten the round. Like we don't
at
even care
least.
if we get card back or
Let me
not.
see if we get. Okay, we don't get it.
Yeah, the fence is always the card
top.
there.
I think I'm just gonna do that.
Oh, famous little model.
I'm gonna withhold tribute. So should have clicked that first. We would have got a lot better result. But I don't know if we
For
ever.
a longer round at least, but
I think we wait on the Yago, probably.
now this is kind of like we're always probably gonna want to trade the card. Like I don't really care
we're
about
definitely
the
gonna want
removal
to
here, because I'm not gonna want to
play in a bit
spend like in round 3.
With the 7 we get this. There's a pretty good chance we get Bancy. We know this is on the bottom.
But
So,
I end up playing Horson's Freak Show here and trying to. For some reason, I did the math wrong and thought that the coins I was going to gain, I had enough to kill during chorus. But I think it was just because I saw, oh, we're going up to 7, but then I was like, oh shoot,
shame
this
we
last
don't
one
have
we
an
need
extra
we
coin.
need to
I should've
deal
killed
8
the during chorus
damage to
reason.
do it, to kill it.
I
Or 8
miscalculated
coins.
that. That's
So-
fine. Should have got the extra point too. I mean, either way they're gonna play.
And then we just pass there.
This is probably one with more.
Or
of a-
actually, we could play Candle because we're gonna have because we'll have enough carryover, and then we draw enough stuff to get full bank.
I just realized though we
So
do
I think
need.
I Candle here.
I mean, this is
Okay, I don't-
unstoppable pretty much.
It's
If I
fine.
keep playing, I'm actually surprised they had that strong of a round. What do they have? They might have Detloff, Verena. I don't know. I just really hope they don't have Verena. If they have a Verena, it's really bad. There we go. There's our Bincy. Okay.
See, I didn't save
So they
the
play a Fiend. Okay.
Morels for Verena, but
And Royal Decree. for
the Oriana
Bincy.
was too good to pass up.
We're gonna want to do this first.
Appeals can be filed within 7 years.
Boom. Probably Bincy next. Unfortunately, that is pretty annoying.
Yeah, because they'll
Good.
probably play something that's
Gotta
going to
get
make it
greedy.
boost every time.
Shoes only get in the way.
Please no removal. Fudge, dude. I think we lose now.
That's what I
Gosh
thought,
darn it.
but
Okay, what
That
was I
was
gonna do
actually
otherwise? I
okay.
mean, I would have done this. I could have boosted it up to
it
this.
wasn't really that big of a deal. The Bincy's just like extra, like an extra
I think it's
threat,
always this.
extra points. Just kind of like flexing on him. But it does offer flexibility because we can sometimes
no
play
way.
Bincy round 1 if
do
we
they got
don't
here?
draw any of our other win conditions and just
I
like
don't
we start
think
on
I have
blue
enough
coin.
points here, sadly,
It should be fine.
but you never know.
It does end up being very close here though.
On that, we find ourselves in agreement.
Get vote out. It might be enough points. It is going to be a thick Yago as long as they don't remove it. Okay.
So we just spend away and then drop the Yago and hope it's enough. Yeah, one of the best
I'm really
enabling
impressed.
cards in this deck is the Course Blacksmith, that 1-point spender that I'm spending with here. A lot of times if that card
It
gets
is, thank
answered,
goodness.
it
Woo.
does hurt the deck
We win
quite
by
a bit.
2. Jeez, that was a little bit stressful at the end there. Once the Bincy was gone, I was like a little bit. Okay, there we go. Finally. Hoo, hoo, hoo. So we had to do 2 games. 2 games to get there. That's awesome stuff. All right, so this is what it looks like to be in pro rank standard mode.
So
Play
like I
against
said, it
worthy
was
opponents.
glitched for
This is
some reason. I
acclaim.
don't know why it displayed it that way.
Professional avatar. Reach pro rank. Go ahead and equip that shortly. But yeah, we are there. I don't know how this works. Like why it doesn't go higher. I guess maybe you have to play all the placements for it to.
Yeah, so you'll see the
Oh, that was
status. This is what it was showing.
The other one would have been my last one. So 2400. We're at 2400 with everything now. I'm just gonna get screenshots of all this too.
190. I don't know if this was
And
updated
this is how
though. If
many
that was like
games it took to get there.
190
It
and
was very very hard fought this
pro
season,
rank
but I
North
knew it was
America,
probably
or
gonna
if that
happen.
was still non
So
pro rank.
yeah,
Since this hadn't updated, I don't know.
we're there. I'm looking forward to the live stream. So we'll probably
And
be
we
doing
are
that.
here now. So, yeah, that's where we're at. So,
Any last words?
We've caught another taskmaster.
Your blood smells sweet. very special item I have. A surprise.
You crossed the wrong sorceress!
Bleed of prize.
Every fortress has a weak point.
For the Daisy of the Valley! Don't hesitate. They're just humans. We've caught another taskmaster.
Run, run! You'll not get far.
We await the signal. Till then, don't budge.
Racists! Your souls will propel this longship.
What is my curse?
Enough of this farce! Vedrai, Enlay!
You want revenge on the Dwan? Start by surviving.
Above sabotage, you'll find yourself below ground.
So much hatred. So much spite.
I've no patience for
Aaron
humans.
has shown us the way.
We shall drive the ape men into the sea!
Got a bad feeling about this.
Pretty. Wind whistles Willow's whip.
Come on in!
Pride is all we've left.
Let the dance begin!
Juiciest leaks in town. Get him here.
Get out!
Only one with no sense would trust the word of a dwarf.
I foresee victory for you.
Oh dear. Is my pointy-eared clumsiness at it again?
Your souls will propel this launch.
Let's warn the others.
There is a chasm between us and them that even love can't bridge. Grace Wex!
We didn't taint the mutation process. We improved it.
My dearest Kragen, if only you were by my side.
The only good human is a dead human. our lines!
The salty winds are blowing.
In this profession, carrying trophies is most cumbersome. Mankind is a virus, a plague. Who knew you got me raging?
Got business for me?
You're good. Real good.
I'm feeling sleepy, grumpy, dopey, and thoughtful.
We'll put Mahakam boots to Imperial arses.
John Freya, watch us and keep us.
That is your brilliant move? Truly?
You're good. Real good.
Always willing.
True love always finds a way.
Maim! Kill!
Your Vith will guide us.
Come on, let's go. Time to face our fears.
You're good. Real good. Handsy.
face!
There'll be nothing to pick up when I'm done with you. now!